This is a post-Christian podcast.
Welcome to the Revolution Church podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meet Your Congregation with Jay and Caleb for Revolution Church.
Hello.
Today we're welcoming our friend and fellow Congo member, Kate. Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, all good. Thank you. It's nice and sunny here today. So the sun's just going down here. So we're in London. So
London.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
How's the quarantine treating you there?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. We're just coming to the end of week 2 of lockdown. At the moment, the government are saying they're going to review it in another week, but there's no chance that it will be lifted really at that point, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the first sort of week or so, it seemed okay. You know, we were getting used to it, but I have to say this week's been harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Me too. It's been really tough.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I think it's easier for me and my kids. We're sort of introverts, so we're quite happy being at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know. We are beginning to go a bit stir crazy now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think as introverts, I mean, because I'm an introvert too, we like to be home, but we also like the choice. And it's when it's not your choice, it just kind of does something in your brain of like,
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few nights where I just put the kids to bed and then went outside, and then all of a sudden was just like, this is weird. This is tough. This is really tough, you know, especially with all, you know, I mean, you guys have been going through it really tough, and now we're being hit really hard. It's unsettling and really scary. I mean, it's like, what is this? Is this Armageddon? I mean,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I work for adult social care, so I don't know if you've got that, what their equivalent would be over there, but I'm an occupational therapist. So I go into people's homes who, many of them are very, very elderly or have got quite severe disabilities in many ways. And so it's hard times, you know, you're feeling the anxiety of all of those people as well as your own, you know. And many of the clients that I see are, over here, they're being told to basically stay in their homes and not go out at all for the next 12 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I mean, the government have put in place a lot of stuff, which is great. You know, they deliver food parcels and prescriptions and, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's the social isolation for people is just extreme. It's hard.
Well, you're doing good work then. That's good that you can help the elderly still get by while being stuck inside their houses. So
Yeah, it's good. My kids seem to be coping all right with it. I've got a 16-year-old son who's a gamer. So to be honest, not
hasn't
really
noticed
much difference.
It's like, COVID what?
Yeah. But yeah, I've also got a 13-year-old daughter. So she's doing fine, but missing her friends.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, my daughter's 2.5. And
wow.
And she would think that, you know, she'd be just fine, but she misses her friends, and she doesn't. She's like, she talks their hands a lot. She's like, the virus. And she's so mad that we can't go to the park and can't go to, you know, a lot of the parks here are indoor because of the weather, but even the outdoor parks are questionable now. And so,
yeah,
you know, my son's a little bit like me, so he's like happy that he doesn't have to be at daycare and he can do it.
Yeah.
You know, he's fine with being inside, but Minnie wants to play.
Yeah. What's the restrictions like there?
Well, I mean, we're recommended not to go out at all.
Yeah. But it's not like they're like stopping people. You know, it's not like there's like checkpoints or something to make sure people don't go out. But it's kind of creepy how slow traffic is. And
well, and I think they're kind of wanting everybody to self-regulate.
Okay.
You know, but what's hard is like when you're our president goes back and forth from taking it serious to not taking it serious.
Yeah,
you know?
I've noticed that.
Yeah, so, the problem is a lot of people, like he said yesterday, like the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, said everybody should wear face masks. But then he was like, but I'm not going to do it, And so,
wow.
Yeah, so I went out today and I had to stop by the drugstore on the way here and, no one was wearing masks. I was pretty surprised. So it's scary, and you can see parts of the country where the governors aren't being as strict, are just exploding with the virus. So, yeah, I mean, I've been doing my best to stay home.
Yeah, our restrictions are a bit more, our restrictions are a bit tighter, I think. We're allowed to go to the supermarket. Probably they say once a week if you can. We're allowed to go to a pharmacy or to medical appointments. And we're allowed to go out once a day for exercise. And there are police out, they're stopping people if they think that they're not, like today there was problems, I think, near the sea where people had gone to the seaside and then, so they are intervening at times like that.
Okay.
I hope they start actually doing that here some, because it's just out of control. It's, I don't know. It's just terrifying. So yeah, like living in this reality it's just so bizarre. It's just, I mean, I've just been a homebody, I got to come over to Caleb's today. So that was, my outing for the, for the week. And then I pick up my kids from their moms and then take them back to my house. That's about it. But yeah, it's tough. Well, I guess we could ask you a question of our normal questions.
Yeah, right.
Which is tough in this time.
Yeah, I know.
Usually we ask folks in the normal life, how did you find out about Revolution? And it's pretty cool. I have to fight this, want to say Europe. So in the UK, because technically you guys aren't Europe anymore.
No, not well. We're kind of in this bit in between stage.
Yeah, and I mean I understand. So my best friend's from Belfast, so which is the UK. So I spend a lot of time there, but I have not been to London since I was a kid. I want to go there, but another one of my good friends is from the UK, and I really hope all this stuff will be over and I get to go spend some time there. But how did you find out about Revolution, and when did you start listening?
So I don't really. I sort of flitted in and out for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think I first probably came across you guys. I was listening to Rob Bell and some of the early Holy stuff on the podcast, and I think I must have seen or heard you interviewed by one of them, and listened to a few of the podcasts. But really, I've been going through the last year or two really struggling to know what I believe, really. So sometimes I listen in to stuff, and sometimes I just have to have a break from trying to work out what I do and do not believe anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I started listening a bit more just before Christmas time.
Okay.
I'm really trying to tune in regularly, really feeling like the need to have some sort of rhythm to thinking about my faith, getting some community with people, but really struggling to find people that I click with. Yeah. Partly because of that acceptance of the fact that I don't know what I believe a lot of the time. So.
You're in a good place.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just been a short while, really.
Cool.
Okay. That's always awesome, though.
Yeah, that is cool.
Just hear people are being, new listeners. That's always, especially because my last year was just crazy and really tough. So it's to have folks have come along during that time is always interesting to me. Really cool, but especially someone from the UK. I mean, that's makes me very happy. All my favorite bands are from the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Clash and the Sex Pistols and Stiff Little Fingers, and so yeah.
Cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to go shopping in England and buy some cool punk rock stuff and albums, records.
Yeah. Or maybe not right now.
No, not
Yeah.
right now.
There's nothing
No,
open.
probably no stores open. I have to break into the stores.
Even McDonald's isn't open here. So,
Really? Well, our drive-throughs are open, but
No.
that's it. No drive-throughs.
no.
Wow.
Shut up.
Yeah, you guys are taking it a lot more serious than we are then.
As they probably have for centuries.
Yeah. Shocker, America's over here acting up again.
Yeah.
So were you were raised in the church then? It kind of sounds like is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was. My parents are basically church planters.
Uh-huh.
So they planted a church when I was maybe 8 or 9, about that sort of age. So I was brought up in the church. It was a non-denominational church.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'd say it was quite. I wouldn't say it's fundamentalist in the sense of some of the fundamentalist churches in America, but certainly that's what life was.
Yeah.
Just church, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have everything around life in the evenings, the daytime was church, really.
Yeah.
So I guess when I went to university, and I left home, I carried on going to a Christian union while I was at university, and that's where I met my husband. And then we moved up to London. That's where he was from. So we're in sort of right the outskirts of London on the west side. And we started going to a church together there. And we were there 18 years, so it was pretty serious.
Okay.
And yeah, my husband was particularly very, very passionate about serving the church. He actually, in the latter years, became a pastor there.
Okay.
So it was kind of a weird thing, because I think growing up, I'd always thought, no, I don't want to be married to a pastor. So when things were looking like they were going that way, I really pushed against it somewhat, because I didn't really want that life. I didn't really want that for the kids. But anyway, we pursued that, and so for a few years, that's where we were at. But really, during that time, it was quite a hard few years, really.
Yeah.
Again, church just was everything, and for me as well, it was everything. I was really immersed in it, but I just began to feel a bit uncomfortable with, I guess, some of the things that were being preached, some of the inclusivity stuff, and also just as a family, just the fact that we didn't have time for anything else, and even the church that we were within, there really wasn't. It was almost like that was the only church that existed.
Right. That's like the community.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the church becomes the community rather than part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And it'd be so busy, just 3 services on a Sunday. And then there would be like home group, and then we were home group, leaders. So you'd have meetings about that, and you'd have meetings about meetings, and
Right.
men's breakfast and women's breakfast and alpha courses. And they did do a great amount of community work, food banks and, that kind of stuff. It was all good. But really, all of our friendships were within the church.
Yeah.
So I won't really go into what happened, really, because it's not really my story to tell. But in the end, my husband did resign, and we left sort of quite quickly. And it was hard, because sort of 18 years of friendships, and that's our whole life, was then gone.
Wow.
Ugh.
Literally overnight. And it was hard for the kids. They lost all their friends. We went to another church quite quickly, completely a different church, a very small church that was very local to where we lived. And we were there for a couple of years. And to be fair, it was kind of what we needed at that time. The people there were great. They were kind of, they were what we needed in terms of community. But I think by that time, I particularly had begun to feel uncomfortable with some of what was being preached. And my husband likewise was beginning to go through a shift in his faith. And, we just got to that point, and that Sunday afternoon, we just come back from church and then just like decompress and
right.
totally just not, just talk about everything that we didn't agree with anymore. And you just think, no, we can't carry on like this.
Yeah.
Can't carry on.
Yeah.
So we've not been going to church now, I guess, for about 18 months or so.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's
wow. So it's all pretty fresh for you, huh?
Yeah, it is fairly, and I think, I've needed that complete break as well to get back to how I want family life to be.
Yeah.
How I want to live my life as well.
Mm-hmm.
But also just have a bit of a chance to think about what I really believe anymore without that kind of pressure of, being there every Sunday.
Yeah.
Not being able to ask the questions that probably everybody else is thinking. Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. And that's what I like about Revolution, that, there's a whole bunch of people there that don't have any answers or would have completely different answers to everyone else. And that's absolutely fine.
Totally.
Yeah.
Summed it up.
I really appreciate that.
Oh,
that's great.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because that's such a hard break. I mean, when my parents had their scandal when I was 11 years old, I mean, I had the same thing, and I think churches mean well, and sometimes I get into this kind of concept of that they have to be like just doing more and more and more, but what they don't realize is that they just, when it becomes your life, you're not even prepared to live life after if you leave. I mean, it was such a break, and it was such a mental adjustment to try to make, because everything I knew, I mean, Christian school, church all the time, all my friends, everybody, family, and you just lose all that, and it's so traumatic. And I've often thought that the churches make a huge mistake trying to monopolize people's time and trying to create community within a church rather than trying to be a church in a community, where it's like, we're here on Sundays, maybe twice, maybe a Bible study if you want to come, but then, go to the stores, go to the restaurants, go live a life, you know what I mean? Just kind of be and let it be a part of your life. And I think I would like to see that happen more. Because it's just so devastating too, when the church has all these rules and regulations and people who get kicked out of church, and then they just don't know what to do with their life anymore. It's like, I thought this was, church was kind of supposed to help us learn how to live life, and live life well. And instead it becomes like this, trap that causes us from experiencing life at all. It's like, why am I even hearing these sermons? Who am I going to, everybody else knows the same shit that I do,
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah. It's cool to hear you, Kate, saying, affirming the stuff that we try to, the environment that we try to create. It's cool to hear someone especially someone who's, a new set of eyes, affirming that it is welcoming to, people questioning, and it's almost like mandatory. You have to be in a crisis in life.
If you're in a crisis, come to Revolution.
We usually kind of wind these things down by asking what can we do better, or what can we improve on? What's something that maybe we're not doing at all or not doing enough of that you'd like to see Revolution doing?
I struggle to know, really, because I think, I'm quite new to it, but, I think what you've done on the Facebook Live is a really good thing, and to have people having conversation. I think some of the Bible study that you're planning to do will be really good.
Cool.
I guess for us, like UK guys or European guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you always put what time zone you're going to be in.
Oh, yes.
Because your summertime changes different to ours, and so that'd be quite a good thing to add in.
Central,
but I think
just
CST,
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm really grateful to you guys, really, for being there, and it's really good.
Well, we're grateful to hear that. I mean, that's honestly keeps me going, I mean, and to hear somebody who's in another part of the world to say that, know that we're helping is, it's beyond my imagination sometimes. It's just like you just, like I had to sit down last night and think about all the work I've done, because I was just feeling really just kind of insecure and just like, how do I have to do a sermon, and I'm like, I've been doing this for like 25 years. I've done A, B, C, I've had people live with, I kind of just had to go and remind myself of where I've been and what I've done, because it just, because sometimes I just want to just start right now, just everything's gone and I can't think of anything. But sometimes I have to remind myself that we've been doing this for a long time, because otherwise it just doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel real. It's really hard to explain, but it's just, so hearing your words, I mean, really encouraged me. And I just, hope I can make it out there one day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be really good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe my buddy Barry, once this is over, will give me a place to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Maria are in London right now.
Yeah, do you know Barry Taylor? Did you know of Barry Taylor?
I don't think so.
He's really great. We'll have to...
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Tell you about... get you in contact with him. He's really amazing. He's a theologian and philosopher, and he lives out in London, and love that guy.
Good guy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
So...
Oh, nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, nice to talk to you. Thanks so much for talking with us this evening, or
whatever it is for you.
Evening for me.
Yeah, for you, afternoon for us.
Yeah. Well, take care. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kate.
Take care. Bye.
We'd like to remind you that our ministry is supported 100% by listeners like you. To make your 100% tax-deductible donation today, please visit revolutionchurch.com/donate. You can also learn more by clicking the donate section on the website.
Hi, I'm Caleb with Post Christian Podcasting. If you enjoyed this episode, you might also like The Sacred Collective.
We are The Sacred Collective. Join us.
Can I ask, were you fully buying into that up until the point that you were 13? Was that just like, did you just kind of assume that?
Those are some weird years, but yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did believe all of it,
Yeah.
I really only started questioning it around that age.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I didn't want to leave, but I was scared to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so like those 4 years in high school was just kind of like up and down because it was very emotional for me. And compounding factors, I have an anxiety and panic disorder. And so not only am I considering if God is not real, I'm also considering, am I going to hell?
Yeah.
That does not play well with anxiety.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
it was really traumatic to be considering these choices and considering these options and not trusting myself, and then kind of feeling like I had to double down. So a lot of high school was just like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm an atheist. And then everyone wants to debate me because I'm in a Christian bubble.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just getting emails all day long. Everyone's just like, hey, what questions do you have about the Bible?
Right.
Let's rip it out.
Yeah,
Let's do it right
it's
here, right
it's
now.
apologetics, which is like a whole culture, really. Like, we have an answer to any question you could have.
Yeah, you
it's
just
on
let
tap.
me know.
Let us know.
I've got it all
Yeah.
figured out. Don't you worry about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, fucking fuckity fuck. But yeah, so people wanted to debate me, and I was like, first you have to prove that there's a God, and then you have a whole lot of work after that to
And
prove
that
your
God
specifics.
is this character that's presented to you in these scriptures.
There's a lot of burden
Yeah.
on them to do that. And so I just kept on getting frustrated and hitting my head against the wall, yet at the same time feeling still pulled towards the religion because of my dependency on it. So I internalized all that, internalized the shame of of it not making sense to me.
That was a Post Christian podcast.